What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I've got another pair of Phantom GXs. These are from my guy CornerManUK on Instagram. Fantastic Instagram page for any sort of boot you're looking for. These are the special edition Nike Phantom GX low tops in that beautiful, I don't even know what they call it, citron tint and burgundy crush. Ooh. So you can see right here, that is what they look like. So Phantom GX Elite FG in the special edition, that's what the SE stands for. These are a 9 US, a 8 UK, or a 10.5 in women's. This is a different box from what we're used to with Nike. Usually it's a silver box, pretty basic. Everything on this box on the outside is the exact same as on the silver box, except it's matte black instead of silver. But you still have this Nike symbol in that metallic kind of metallic-y coating almost, but we'll see kind of what is in the inside, if the inside is any different, and we'll go from there. So we'll open it up straight away. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so first of all, really quick thank you again to @CornerManUK. Definitely go check his page out. Super, super cool. That's his logo there. Awesome. Thank you very much again. So the inside of this this boot box is really interesting because number one, there's a metallic on that side, on the front, on that cover, and then the paper is completely different. So this is the pattern, and you can kind of see a hint of it right here, right? So this pattern right there is what we'll see kind of embossed into the sole plate as well. So the sole plate is gonna have that pattern in it as far as what I can tell from pictures that I've seen online and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get into the unboxing of these boots. Oh my God. Oh, a couple surprises. Okay, so he also sent, wow, that's cool. Okay, he also sent some grip socks. Heck yeah, performance grip socks. We'll have to test these out as we're doing some boot stuff. But okay, star of the show here. Holy crap. These are insane, ladies and gentlemen. Holy moly. Wow. Okay, we are gonna take a hot second because one of the cameras is not working so well, so we'll be back. All right, and we're back. So holy moly, ladies and gentlemen, these are insane. So as I kind of thought about this paper here, you do see that pattern. Hopefully that will focus for me. Hopefully, maybe. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, I think that's focused. There we go. So there is the pattern of whatever this is. I'm not actually sure the story behind this boot. In my research, I actually couldn't find anything about the story of this insane looking sole plate. So, but anyway, point being, the pattern is also in the Nike swoosh, as you can see as well, the swoosh as well here in that bottom swoosh. Obviously the little swoosh is that same kind of thumbprint pattern that we see with the high tenacity yarns in the darker yellow or more orangey yellow, I guess here. So let's get the rest of this stuff unboxed. So stunning, man. These are so insane looking. I think these rival that blue colorway. I hate to say it, but they do. Very cool as well. String bag, Phantom GX. This time it's in a little bit different pattern to that blue one that we got with the blue Phantom GXs, but this is the same writing, same pattern, everything. It's just that background pattern and color is obviously a little bit different. Very, very cool. I like these quite a lot. It's a cool color and cool pattern. So we'll get that out of the way as well. Put this down here. And my, oh my, these are insane. This colorway is absolutely stunning in my opinion. I am not usually, well, that's not true. Yellow boots are cool. I really like red boots, and so this kind of orangey yellow magma, what mango blast, I don't even know what you would call this. This feels like a freaking smoothie color if I've ever seen one. This is unbelievable. So we're gonna go through some tech specs really quick. Because you guys have probably seen 3 or 4 Phantom GX videos already. So if you haven't seen the Phantom GX and you're new to the channel, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Let's just hop straight into some of the tech of this wonderful, wonderful football boot. You guys know who have seen the 1 month review already. I absolutely love these boots. I wore them recently for a trial down in Oakland on a firm ground pitch. I wore the blue version in the FG, and they were absolutely brilliant on a regular grass pitch in dry conditions. This grip knit does just a fantastic job of really giving you the appropriate amount of grip depending on what kind of conditions you're playing in. So I've played on both AG and FG when it's wet, and both FG and AG when it's dry as well. This gives you just the most insane amount of, I shouldn't say insane, that's the wrong adjective. It gives you the perfect amount of grip in my opinion. So the new thing with this Phantom GX compared to its predecessor is the addition of this Nike grip knit. Now, it's a little bit harder to see compared to that blue edition just because these colors are all so similar, but hopefully you can see there's a strip of darker yellow or orange color that basically wraps around this entire piece here and up into the little point. Hopefully you can see that. If I've done the color grading correctly on this image, you guys should be able to see that pretty clearly. You've got the Phantom logo here, the Nike grip knit logo here, and that is this entire grip knit piece. So I can put my finger there, and that's kind of the thickness of that grip knit. It's a really thin layer of what they've done is they've woven these pre-coated yarns along with high tenacity yarns, which are this extra little pattern, as you can see in this upper. It is basically it's supposed to mimic a thumbprint, and the idea behind that is it's a super I guess their marketing was like it's super unique, and so yeah, it gives you like a very unique fit, but it also is great because most players will fit in this boot, and that's the idea. Everyone kind of has their unique shaped foot, and so this gives you the ability to kind of break that in and do those things. So that's really, really cool. This grip knit is so soft out of the box. I think this is one of the softest uppers in a long time. I think as far as thinness goes, like I could do this with the previous generation GT, but it was really plasticky, whereas this has a ton of kind of flow to the upper, and I at least have not experienced any weird chinking, if you will. When I put my foot in here, there's no weird how would you say this, little bubbles of material that kind of form on the upper, or when you do this, there's no, see what happens with the upper there's no weird kind of bunches up, like the upper doesn't bunch up in certain locations, especially in this midfoot area like it did with the GT2s for me, and especially on the outside here as well. So that grip knit is just fantastic. Obviously the rest of this upper is all fly knit with the DF variation. This is for obvious reasons the low cut, you get the exposed laces with the DF. The only addition is the addition of a ghost lacing system, which is simply a piece of a little bit looser woven fly knit that goes over the top, which I'm sure they'll market it as something other than that, but it's just a fly knit. It's just a piece of fly knit basically that goes over, gives you a bigger striking surface, so to speak, over that lacing system area, and then it's got about another inch or inch and a quarter of extra fly knit, which is the exact same material as this piece of collar here, but it's just extended just a little bit there. So really not that much difference between the low top and the high top. In my opinion, the high top to me just looks, for whatever reason, I'm not a high top boot guy. That's why I get the low tops to actually wear, because the low tops I love, but the high top for me looks incredible. On feet, I think the low tops look really good. I almost think the low tops look better on feet, but the high tops look better just side by side. Does that make sense? That's my opinion. I think the high tops look fantastic. Again, I'm not usually a huge fan of like laceless designs or anything, but for whatever reason, the design of those high top DF models of the GX are insane looking, especially in this crazy yellow and orange colorway. The sole plate, for those who don't know, is a combination of 3 different types of studs. As you can see here, you've got conical, you've got these triangle star stud shapes here, and then 3 in the forefoot area, and then you've got a couple chevron studs in the toe and in that the middle of that forefoot area, just for a little bit of extra bite. So what this sole plate allows you to do, which I think is really fantastic, is it allows you to stick into the ground, really stick in, and you get a little bit of pivot power, but you've got enough bite to do lateral movements side to side this way, and also a little bit of twisting as well once you pivot that foot. If you are somebody who is concerned about ligaments, concerned about playing on AG in general, if that's the surface that you play on most of the time, I might recommend going with the AG model simply because it's so similar to this. Literally the exact same stud pattern, except instead of some of the studs being conical, all of them are conical. They're in the same configuration, they're the same height, everything, and it's a really nice sole plate. I've absolutely loved playing with my AG model on AG pitches. So if you are somebody who is just kind of concerned or just wants, frankly, a little bit of extra pivot power on AG surfaces or FG surfaces, because by the way, I think the AG could be played with on FG, I really think you could go either way with that sole plate. So just something to keep in mind. It's totally a personal preference. Again, it makes really no difference as far as what the sole plate is, because it's the same amount of grip and really does a fantastic job on either, in my opinion. So this sole plate also, I heard, got a lot of complaints because it is quite flexible. That is one thing that I was a little bit worried about with my initial review, is how flexible the sole plate is. But I have found it to be actually really nice because it gives you almost a barefoot feeling, because the silhouette's so flat, as opposed to, see how there's a little bit of curvature here in the forefoot area, but for the most part, this boot is quite flat, really low profile here in the toe area, and does just a fantastic job of giving you the most locked in kind of one-to-one sensation on feet. My 2 cents worth about this boot is it's one of the best for the most barefoot sensations on feet. And what that means is, yes, you have uppers that are thinner than this. Something like a Speed Portal is going to be thinner. Even Nike's own Vapor 15 and Superfly 9 are going to be thinner than this. But as far as the ability to feel the ground and really get your foot moving and kind of customize the way you move in the boot on the ground, if that makes sense. I know I'm kind of, hopefully this comes across in the way that I want it to, but this gives, because of the flexibility, it really does give enough snapback. I think there is enough snapback in this boot, no problems at all, and I've experienced it on both types of surfaces. But it just is so free, and I hardly even notice the boots on my feet, which is such a great feeling. And so that's why I think this sole plate does a fantastic job. I really, if you can't tell already, I love this boot. I wear it all the time. I stand by it. I think it's fantastic. I think it'll fit most foot types, and it really will break in for most people. So the other thing that a couple people I heard say, both in the comment section, but also now that people are starting to get their own Phantom GX, is, I have issues with the heel area because it's a little bit loose, and obviously there's not very much structure here in this heel. You can see I can kind of press it down. The whole point of that as well is to give you the most customizable fit. So what they've done with this boot is they've really kind of taken away all of the pieces that would make it super locked in and super solid, and all those words that are kind of synonyms with being really locked in. These are really locked in. I personally feel that my feet fit really well in these, and I don't have any slippage issues or anything. But if you're somebody who has super thin feet, these might be a little too wide for you, just because they are quite wide here in this forefoot area. They will break in a little bit for guys like me who have wider midfoots. And if you have a super thin heel area, this heel is so unstructured, I would say that you might have issues with a little bit of slippage rotating like this way inside this heel. But for most people, I think this boot will be totally suitable, and that's why I recommend it so highly over most other football boots on the market, because I really do think that most people will be super happy with this boot, which is awesome. Nothing really else to note about the lacing system or anything else with the upper. These are quite a lightweight boot as well. I think they come in right around the 7.5 ounce mark, depending on the size, or 7.3 ounce mark, maybe, depending on the size. So soft, such an incredible looking boot. And this colorway in particular is just absolutely stunning. So without further ado, let's get into the on-feet portion of the video. We'll talk a little bit about fit and feel, similar to the other videos that I've done, but also just take a look at how crazy these look on feet with this bright orange sole plate, metallic, and this yellow fit and finish. So let's hop into it. All right, fam, out here at the pitch with the absolutely beautiful Phantom GX in this gorgeous, crazy, bright orange yellow colorway. I am super excited to see what these look like on feet. This will be a very traditional try-on as far as GXs go. You guys have probably seen 2, 3, potentially even 4 or 5 videos now of mine on the Phantom GX, so there's gonna be no surprises as far as what the fit and feel is like, but I will explain all of that as we get the boots on. So here we go.
my, oh my, what a football boot. I think these just look absolutely stunning. As I mentioned in my DF video, which I think that one will come out before this one will, I honestly think in hand, the DF might look better in my opinion, just because I know that's maybe controversial, but I actually really like the way the DF looks in hand, but on feet, I'm a huge fan of the low top model of the GX. I think it looks absolutely sensational. So getting the foot into the GX is fairly easy, especially with how flexible this heel is. So you can see my thumb kind of pushing it down. All you got to do is just get your finger in the back and pull through, and it's a very easy slip-on process. For some people that might be concerning. For me, it literally is not a big deal at all, and these boots fit so good out of the box. There you go. Really, really nice. This grip knit wraps your foot absolutely sensationally. I love the way these fit and feel, and that's exactly why I use them so often. I stand by what I say in these videos, and these videos are a representation of honestly how I feel and what boots you see I wear in games and in training sessions. Those are the ones that I actually enjoy wearing. So fun things. Love when that works out. So there you go. Stunning on feet, if I'm honest. These look so good. I'm not really a huge fan of yellow boots in general. Like, I've never really worn a ton of yellow boots, but I do think these look pretty special, pretty spectacular, if I'm honest. So that is really, really cool. All right, here we go. So getting the other one on. Oh, yeah. Pretty easy, straightforward. One thing I mentioned in the unboxing portion, I believe, in this video, is the crinkling of the upper. That's one thing that I really enjoy about these compared to the GT model, or the GT2 model, I should say, that this replaced. A lot of times I got kind of, as you would bend your foot forward and, as you did this, there was creasing all throughout the upper. This upper does such a nice job in this instep area in the medial side of the foot to really wrap your foot nicely. So I really don't like, I could pinch a little bit of material, as you could see here, but as they break in, there's no room on this upper for any sort of BS. They're absolutely fantastic in my opinion, and so no issues there as far as like extra creasing or material. Here's what they look like on feet. I'll pull my pants up just a little bit, as all men should. Here we go. And sorry, that was a little bit of a cheeky comment. There you go. So full with the white socks, they look spectacular. So regardless of what type of kit you're wearing, I think these will probably look pretty awesome. I think this colorway, honestly, every colorway of the GX so far has been absolutely fantastic in my opinion. And I found that most colorways, you get the full garb with it as well. Most of the colorways of the GX have been absolutely sensational. One of the things that really stands out as far as the GX's fit goes is how easy it is to break in, how easy it is to get in there and just feel super comfortable. For those who don't know, I have a very thin heel area, and then my foot kind of juts out and is really wide in the midfoot and then in the toe box area. So with the GX, one of the things that I was a little worried about is if you can see how pointy that toe is, and you can kind of see where the knuckle here of my foot is, and then obviously my toes here on the outside are kind of bunched up a little bit. Over time, that does stretch out, and I have had zero issues with my broken in pair of these boots. And what they've done is, you can kind of see here as well, it's kind of jutting out already. That's where my foot is really wide all through basically this whole area here, but then really thin in the heel. So one of the things that I really love about this boot is its ability to kind of mold around the shape of your foot. If you're somebody with really razor thin feet all around, so thin heel, thin midfoot, thin toe box area, these might not be the boots for you. If you're looking for something kind of like this and you want a razor thin type of boot, maybe I would look for, honestly, the Vapor is a fantastic option, and you get the added benefit of air zoom. Air zoom's not my favorite tech. It's cool, but it's not my favorite. But I would say that's a much better option for thinner foot types, and I think you would absolutely love those if you're somebody with super razor thin feet. For everyone else, really, these are going to be suitable. I think these are going to break in really well. The responsiveness of the sole plate is totally fine it's very, very adequate for most people. As I said, in several of my reviews, I wore these in a recent professional combine on regular grass, on FG pitches, and they were beautiful. They were absolutely perfect, no issues at all. So in my opinion, it's like, I know people, oh, responsiveness, blah, 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 of the sole plate, they're so flimsy and whatever. You're not gonna notice the difference. Honestly, like I'm ranting a little bit here, but like most people aren't gonna notice the difference. And if you can notice a difference cognitively, you're not gonna see a difference if you were to put one shoe on each, or if you're gonna go back-to-back sprints in a shoe with a carbon sole plate and a shoe with the GX sole plate. You're not going to notice a difference in your ability to change directions. You're not going to notice a difference in your ability to accelerate faster. That's a you thing, not a boot thing. So I always tell people, go with the boot that fits you the best. And if the sole plate is a little less responsive than you want it to be, bummer. Like, wait for the next generation to come out, right? Like, I know I'm being a little sassy here, but that's kind of my point, is like, people always ask me, oh, but don't you want like the most responsive? Sure, if you can find that and it fits your foot right, but you as a player aren't gonna perform the best if the boots on your feet don't fit you. That's just how it works. So find the boot that fits your best. In my case, the GX right now, as far as like the current models, are my favorite boot of like non-limited edition. Obviously, I know these are limited, this colorway is limited, but like the GX is number one because it fits my foot the best. Who cares if it has a flimsy sole plate and everything? So anyway, rant over. Touch on the ball with the GX is really nice. I love how the kind of waxy finish on that grip knit really gives you a nice amount of yes, touch on the ball, but also just the perfect amount of grip. So when you're passing, when you're receiving, it's nothing you have to get used to because it just feels natural. They've done a really nice job of integrating that grip technology into the upper to make it feel super organic and super natural as you're playing. Obviously, it's freezing cold here right now, and these are gonna be great. If it was super hot outside, these are also gonna be great. Wet conditions, no problems there. So for me, touch on the ball is absolutely sensational. And the grip knit does just a fantastic job of doing what it's meant to, which is give you a little bit of extra added grip. This sole plate, also really quick aside, is just spectacular looking. I think that like orangey red color is so cool. So yeah, and also one thing to note about, I know this is the low top variation, you can also get this yellow orangey version in a high top as well. Both have the same amount of grip knit, so the grip knit piece is the same size if you were to get your size in both the high and the low top. The only difference is a little bit of material here on the collar, as I said before, and then you get the lacing cover that is the Nike Ghost laces, which just goes over the top of there. So very, very, very straightforward as far as I'm concerned, and just a special, special pair of football boots. If you guys enjoyed that video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know if you have any questions about the Phantom GX down in the comments section below. As always, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.